I've got a sample project here with some of our light fixtures loaded in to demonstrate their features. The intent of our light fixture library is to provide a variety of families that are both flexible and easy to use. So they're all fully parametric. You can control the dimensions, and for the suspended ones like the pendants, you can also control the stem length. We've got included in the library a number of different shapes of wall sconces, including a linear wall mount. We've got both recessed surface mount and suspended troffer type fixtures, recessed and surface mount cans, both round and square, pendant lights, suspended linear direct, indirect track lights, under cabinet lights, and strip lights. The graphics in plan view, you've got several options for the troffer type fixtures. There's a plain lensed fixture. There's a graphic for volumetric and for parabolic. And those are just check boxes in the dialog box. So you can show parabolic lines, show volumetric lines. If they're both unchecked, it's just a plain lensed fixture. And you've got a checkbox for a wall washer, as well as the dimensions, the length, the width, and the depth. Also in these fixtures, they all have as an instance parameter, optional graphic to show an emergency fixture. So that's just a checkbox as an instance to show that graphic. As far as ease of use in these families, one thing that we did when we built them was to make them face-based. Demonstrate how that works here. For the wall-mounted fixtures, they're not actually wall-hosted. They are face-based, which means you can place them on any surface, including through a link. And if the wall is deleted, I'll delete that, the fixtures remain. If they were wall-hosted families, they would have to go onto a wall for one thing, and if the wall was deleted, the fixture would also be deleted. So we felt that that was a better way to go, is to create these as face-based. They're more flexible and they won't delete if the host is deleted. For the ceiling fixtures, we actually built them both ways. So you get a ceiling hosted set and a face-based set. And I'll show you the difference here. They're named appropriately, so you'll be able to tell. If I click on this one, it's a recessed face-based troffer, and this one is a recessed ceiling hosted troffer. And the difference between the two is in their behavior, both when they're placed and then if anything happens to the ceiling afterwards. So on a ceiling hosted fixture, which you're all probably familiar with, I'll do create similar here. You go to place this, it doesn't really snap into the grid. You just place it, and afterwards you can use alignment constraints and just kind of snap it into the grid here. And if you move the grid lines around, so I'll select a grid line and just use the nudge tool, you can see that the fixtures move around with the grid. Now on the face-based families, I'll create similar here. One thing you have to remember to do is that you've got options on face-based families. So click place on face, and when you bring this in, you'll see that it has snaps to the grid lines of the ACT. So you can place that like that. We've also included in the recessed cans and some of the other fixtures reference planes, so that even the can will snap to the center of a tile, which really speeds these up if you're using cans a lot. The ceiling hosted fixture will not do that. Now the drawback to this is that if you move the grid around, the face-based fixtures don't move with it, although you could use alignment constraints. So you could align the fixture to the grid, and then when the grid moves, the light would move as well. The big benefit of using the face-based versus the ceiling hosted is that if the ceiling is deleted, the face-based fixtures remain and the ceiling hosted do not. The same goes with our strip lights. These were made as both face-based and ceiling hosted as well, just like all of the fixtures. And it's nice to be able to put one of these fixtures into a room that doesn't have a ceiling. If you have a mechanical room or something like that that doesn't have a ceiling in it, a face-based family can also go on a work plane. So if you could just put a work plane in that room and place the fixture in there without having to have a dummy ceiling, which was the old workaround. In building this library, we also included the generic light source that Revit provides with the families, and gave them all self-illuminating surfaces. So for basic rendering purposes, let me actually switch over to this view. For those basic renders that you may want to do, they do cast light, and they are self-illuminated. So let me just show you what that looks like. I did a quick rendering of that scene, and you can see that the fixtures do cast light, and that they are self-illuminating as far as the surface appears bright when it's in the ceiling or in the scene. So if you're doing a real light study, obviously you'd want to get the correct fixture with all its photometrics and everything, but this does have a light source and a self-illuminated surface for basic rendering projects. That's the overview of our MyCAD Light Fixture Library. Thanks for watching.